try to be respectful.
What, not drink out the bottle?
Yeah.
You allowed
Grown
to drink
as a
out
person.
the bottle? All right.
Yeah, but I'm an adult now.
It is weird that you can drink. You can drink like
20 litres.
cold drinks out of the bottle, like, and no one really cares. But you can't drink coffee out the pot or tea.
That's a good point. I mean, scalding hot. Why can't you drink fucking tea out of the kettle? I mean, fucking what people these are, the standards.
It's just ludicrous. It's PC culture gone wild.
Oh, fucking PC culture. I think we've started now, but yeah, PC culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've started trying out a new dating app because it seemed a bit more interesting, and Tinder was just getting more and more sad.
Right.
Not just as in like the people you see that is like, oh, it's just I don't know. So I tried out this. I'm trying out this app called Hinge. Which is advertised. I saw it like advertised on social media. It's kind of like the app that's designed to be deleted.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't look into it. What's the deal with it?
So the selling point is basically like, oh, you'll actually find somebody on this app.
This works.
Yeah. But years ago, I tried a different app, which was like you match with quotes.
Okay.
I can't remember what it was called, but like you'd read a sentence and you'd either match with it or unmatch with it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's not pictures. It's just like a statement or a paragraph or whatever it was. And this feels like a blend of that and Tinder. So like, I think you have to upload 6 images or videos and 3 statements. Like, oh, The Wire is really underrated. You know, something like that.
No, it isn't.
And you can... And you can choose to match with either one of the pictures or the statements.
Right.
So like you'd find a statement like, oh yeah, no, I agree with that, or I'm interested in talking about that, so let's do that. So I've tried that, but like the alarming amount, well, the social justice warriors, PC culture, yeah, there's the amount of people who are looking for social justice warriors, like that's their description of something.
Yeah.
Felt really weird to me. And then I guess that means that like I've got a certain perspective on social justice warriors in that they're not very genuine, or they're not very well guided.
Well, it's because
they're just kind of
they're inherently unlikable and they have trouble getting along with people in the real world.
So yeah, they're looking for one. Like, oh, what's your idea of a perfect date? Oh, you know, burning down I don't know, like photoshopping an image of the government on fire because edgy, you know.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
I want to find someone
sexy.
who's as unlikable as I am.
Well, that's what I'm doing. Like the amount of times, I thought it would be better, but there's an example that's been going on since lockdown of actors trying to embrace social media.
Oh.
Right, so like famously there was Garth Brooks, but this was a while ago, and he's just really fucking creepy and psychotic. And then there was Matthew McConaughey, who was just like, hey, how's it going? I really like the monologue going on between us. You know, it's just like, dude, like you're not. People think. I think Tom Segura did a bit on this recently on the new Hot Wings season that's just come out. The remote one, and he went on about how like they're actors, and it's not a detriment to them. It's just like there's a reason that they're not writers, and there's so much ego involved in being a super massive megastar, sex symbol or whatever it is. They're going to be a little bit whacked in the head.
It's just become just hugely transparent that they can't deal with not being seen.
Well, there's that as well, but it's just like you can't, the things that they're saying, like, oh no, he's really good at giving speeches. Yeah, if a team of award-winning writers write his words for him, yeah. And it's not a detriment because I do respect acting. It's just, they're very different things.
Yeah.
And this is what's going on with this Hinge app, is basically Tinder people are being, now having to actually write things instead of, hey, why don't we meet up or something like that.
Yeah.
They're actually having to articulate a little bit more.
Right, because it's trying to form relationships rather than hookups.
Well, yeah, I guess, or it's like trying to at least filter out the people with no personality.
Who don't make any effort.
Yeah, or are unable to.
Yeah.
And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just there's a lot more for me to react angrily to. So like there's the number one thing I've noticed is apparently the world is absolutely filled with Harry Potter fanatics. And I mean like 9 out of 10 people that I'm seeing are just like, we'll get on really well if you love Harry Potter as much as I do. And I never thought of Harry Potter as like a cult following.
It's hugely popular. And like, it's part of the reason why I don't get along with a lot of people, because I don't care about it.
It's popular, yeah. And I was one of those kids who read all the books when they came out. And I read them within 1 or 2 days of them being released, because when I was young. So like, I would be like, oh, I read Harry Potter and I enjoyed reading the books, but I never thought of it as a universe to, you know, get involved in. And obviously there's been cosplaying, like queues outside bookstores dressed as wizards and all that kind of stuff going on. So it's had the kind of cult aspect to it. But in terms of a universe, I never considered it that way. Like the same way that like Star Wars or Star Trek as a universe. And I think maybe it's just because those are more aimed at adults as much as like Lord of the Rings is like, oh, little, you know, dwarves and goblins and whatever. It's kind of aimed more towards an adult community.
Maybe, but I don't, even then I don't think that's true. I think like, I think Star Wars has always been aimed at kids, and the reason people complain about it so much is because they outgrow it and then complain that it doesn't change. And then Lord of the Rings I think is still aimed at kids, but it was aimed at kids in like the 50s or the 40s or whenever the fuck it was written, who had a bit more of a sophisticated understanding of reading because they didn't have anything else to do.
Well, you know, like the first Star Wars film, like he sees his step-parents burned alive, right?
Yeah, kids.
Such a kid. Yeah, kids love that shit. Fucking hate my step-parents or my uncles, my uncle and aunties. Fuck them. Yeah, but it's real. I'm literally 9 out of 10 women are just like, yeah, no, I love Harry Potter. It's like, I can't understand. And I thought, oh, because the universe in terms of Harry Potter is actually quite small. It's like all kind of contained on one planet. No, there's not that many characters. I mean, there's trees and there's links and there's there's this wonderful monsters prequel that's going on with Johnny Depp or whatever. So like it's got a little bit of an extended universe, but it just doesn't feel very big, I guess. But I guess it's just too fucking whimsical. I think that's the thing that really turned me off. It's like diving. I want to be part of this wonderful, whimsical, charming world.
Yeah.
But no, Star Wars, which I'm not even a big cult member of Star Wars. The only cult thing that I'm really a fan of, I guess, would be Dexter. I was hardcore into Dexter. Like I read the books as well as watching the TV show, and I was really tuned into it. But I wouldn't call Dexter a universe.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's the character, and there are... I'd say Dexter is as much a universe as Harry... Well, this probably feels a bit wrong to say. Harry Potter's a bit more expansive, I guess. But yeah, I can't... to me, Harry Potter cultishness isn't as developed or mature as another kind of cultish... Like Star Trek, right? I've watched all the Star Treks. I still don't count myself as like a hardcore fan of them. I'm a hardcore fan of Slipknot.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I guess to me, Harry Potter is like the Justin Bieber of Slipknot. It's just like, I can't quite see the...
So, like, well, the thing that gets me is that because it's kind of based in literature, I think they almost elevate it as being, like, not better than it is, but more deserving of fandom than it is. And and people who love Harry Potter might look down on guys, on like adults who are into like My Little Pony, because there's a shit ton of those for some reason, which I never got. But because Harry Potter's based in literature, by the way, it's still a fucking kid's book. Like, but because it's based on books, like they see it as kind of higher being than like kids' TV shows or anything like that.
You know, like the first Harry Potter book, he witnesses his parents being tortured and murdered to death.
Right.
Kids love that.
No, it's great. Yeah. No, kids books dealing with adult themes, like it's important.
Yeah. I can't remember, I think it was the first one where he's like, spends hours staring into a mirror imagining his dead parents. This is like Thomas the Tank. You know, I guess it is... I see it as adult, but I could totally understand how it's like, oh, kids experience these kind of things, and maybe it's a bit more hard hitting of childish stuff.
The only experience I've really got of Harry Potter was when it came out. They read the first one to us when we were in primary school. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a kid's book.
Ah, I didn't have that. The only thing I could think of is maybe it's the films, because the films came out, later, obviously, for us. They came out much later, so it was like maybe we didn't have the. I didn't have the excitement for the books, but when I got the book, I did read it. But maybe I didn't have the films. The new Harry Potter film's coming out, and you can see it and imagine yourself in it. Maybe
I didn't watch the films. I still haven't watched any of the films.
I think I have watched them, but I didn't like them, and it felt very uncomfortable. Because it was one of those things of like, I had it in my mind, my imagination from the book was so much stronger and personal, as it's always going to be.
Yeah.
Then you're watching the film, you're like, I don't really quite get it. I thought her name was Hermione. And I was like, well, Hermione's quite a nice name. So yeah, maybe it was the films that kind of did it. But yeah, like it's kind of an interesting app anyway, this dating app. Had a few conversations. One of them had a statement which was, it's lolly ice, not ice lollies. And I don't want to talk about it. So I obviously sent her a message on that statement saying, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And she said, I'm not looking for negativity. All right.
Why is this the hill you're dying on?
And elsewhere in her profile, she was like, "Oh, I really like sense of humor. Don't take yourself too seriously." It's like I did genuinely think like maybe she's joking, but then after a while, it was like, no, she really does not want to talk about lolly ice. Fair enough. Fair enough. Whatever you want to do.
Why does that matter to you? What happened?
Well, I've got stupid beliefs, right? Probably. Like, if I think about something, I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah, but you want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about it to stupid degrees.
Yeah, definitely. Like that Miss Hitler 2016 thing, right?
Yeah.
If there was someone, I would match with someone who won Miss Hitler 2016, because I think that would be fascinating.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't match with someone who was runner-up.
No.
Because if you're going to do it like, you obviously didn't put enough effort into this.
Yeah.
As horrific as that could be.
Yeah, you don't want to fail to be a Nazi.
Yeah, not to be the most voted pageant beauty of the Nazi party or the neo-Nazi party or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it just seemed like that's the first impression, I guess. And, like, the app tries to be funny by, like, having prompts on top of questions. So it'll be like, the thing I think about in the shower is, and then they give their answer.
Right.
One of them is, I won't shut up about.
Bit aggressive.
Yeah, and it's like, I won't shut up about my cat. Like, oh, well, if you're not going to shut up about it, then fuck off. And it's just, I mean, people love politics, so there's a lot of political statements of like, I won't shut up about feminism, or whatever political party it is. It's just like, it seems like a strange...
That's the thing.
Strange advertisement.
That's another one of these things. I really don't think people are that into politics. I just think they're into their friends.
Yeah.
Like they're into their team.
To match with a social justice warrior. You're like, why not just have somebody who has strong political ideals or similar morals to you or similar beliefs to you? It's like, no, there have to be a social justice warrior.
All right. Stupid.
Fair enough.
Like most people's relationship to politics is like a non-football fan's relationship with their home team. It's like, well, if I'm going to support football, I'll go watch a Stoke match because that's my team. And you do feel a certain sense of support for them if you've never watched football in your life, which I barely fucking have. There would still be a certain sense of pride if they came home with a cup. And it's like
there'd be some kind of thing.
Like that's most people's relationship to politics. Like they don't know and they don't really care, but they're just supporting their team.
Yeah, just kind of casual passion.
Yeah,
day to day.
It's like people that care about football when the World Cup comes around. Like I'll watch an England match.
Yeah, same. I enjoy watching football. I just don't really have a local team that I support. So on a national stage, sure, it's interesting to play with. But put myself out there, chatting with these people.
Trying.
See how it goes. But coincidentally, a listener posted an email for us about Harry Potter, so I thought that was fitting. It's a Reddit post, and again, it's just a weird universe to be really into. This is the post. Hang on. Fucking cough. Wuhan. Right, yeah, this is the Reddit post. We have raised our almost 8-year-old daughter to believe she's a witch. From an old wizarding family.
Yeah.
We're looking for more sophisticated and creative ideas from the community to keep this thing going. So there's a lot of instant reactions you get from that, right? Where some people go, don't lie to your kid, it's not a wizard. But in the same, every year, Fat Man comes down the chimney and fairies steal your teeth.
Yeah.
It's like, it's magic, it's childish imagination.
It's a framework used to teach your kid morals is essentially what you're doing. Teach your kids like good morals and a good way to live, which is the same as any religion, right?
Sure. Anything you tell kids, really, they're not going to deconstruct it on an intellectual level. No. They're just going to be like, they're just going to be
massively devastated later in life.
They're just going to, there's a train coming at them for whatever reason, and they pick up a stick and say something, and it doesn't work. Realization. Oh, no, my parents have been lying to me flat. That kind of thing. Since our daughter was 5, and my wife and I first started reading her the Harry Potter books, we have told her that she's a witch, and that the wizarding world is real. She's almost 8, and as her questions have gotten deeper, we've kept building the illusion with more details about our family genealogy and its connection to book characters. Because I've done this before, not like on this level, but like I did when I worked for a company, and they really did a lot of paperwork to try and like help you understand your personality and like make records. Sorry, this cough. I think it's just hay fever.
Hopefully.
Next week I'm dead. I worked for a company, and they kept on giving us all these forms to fill out about like when's the time you can recall when you exhibited strong leadership qualities, or when was the time when you were afraid, and that kind of thing. And I just got bored, so I just started. Every single answer was the plot of an Arnold Schwarzenegger film. And like, I was very, very... I wasn't hiding it in any way. I was like, well, me and a bunch of friends were on a chopper going into the South American jungle to examine the work of these drug dealers. And then this invisible alien kept on hunting us down one by one. So I was like, cover myself in mud and let's go. So I can understand, and it's more entertaining and it's more enjoyable. And I've been tempted to, if there's young kids... I mean, I've convinced... Well, I did convince your nephew that he was a werewolf.
Yeah.
And like he does still question it, and he may still question it to this day, but I'm still going to maintain it.
Didn't we?
It's just a bit of fun.
We convinced a girl in the past, a random girl at a party, we convinced her that I'd recovered from Down syndrome.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But... That's we've got more interesting Hinge profiles. First opening sentence at a party is like, "Oh, so what do you do for a living?" It's like, "Hi, this is Steve. He had a rather noticeable disability, but he grew out of it. Oh yeah, bananas. Yeah. Just lots of potassium seems." More interesting, and there's no real... you could argue that maybe there's some harm done, but I think years of telling kids about Santa Claus is somewhat relevant. About they're kids, they're going to believe in the magic, and then they're going to grow out of it. So I can understand why... I don't understand why people would be angry at it. It's just, why do this with Harry Potter when you can do it with, I don't know, with Dexter? Oh yeah, Uncle Dexter, he's a mass murdering serial killer.
But he only kills the bad people, so make sure you're on the nice list and not the naughty list.
Walk into your kid's room, his bedroom's covered in cling film. How's it going, bud? I would just do it with a different thing. It doesn't feel that big to me. And it's collected of book characters. Stories about times we used magic and the life and moral lessons we learned about it. She has processed many difficult subjects like racism, climate change, and even the coronavirus.
In the context of Harry Potter.
Through Dumbledore, she's figured out climate change. I mean, there's a botany class in Harry Potter, and there's a greenhouse in that. Is that the extent? I don't know. The world. Why don't you use your magic to solve climate change? No. Okay, cool. Before other parents judge or lecture, we know that it's gaslighting, and that eventually she'll have to be disappointed, I think, and have trust issues with us when she learns the truth.
Is that what
trust
gaslighting is?
8-year-old.
I wouldn't consider that gaslighting. It's only as manipulative as a religion is. Like, I wouldn't say religion is necessarily gaslighting.
Well, I wouldn't say religion is gaslighting because you're not doing it to manipulate. You're doing it because you believe.
Right. So, it's because. So the difference is
they're doing it knowing that
they're
it's
knowing
not true.
that it's not true. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So like,
but the actual framework of it is the same.
What, religion and gaslighting?
No, the way that they're doing it, using texts to teach morals and like kind of allegorical lessons.
Yeah, but if they were framing it as we just like Harry Potter, then it would be fine, I think.
Yeah.
If you're saying you're actually a witch, and your uncle was a witch, whatever goes on, it's like you're building a false belief system intentionally.
Yeah.
I guess, but again, I met Santa Claus once. He was quite a nice guy. He fell off his sleigh and landed on my neighbour's trampoline. It was an alright time. He seemed like a legit guy to me, so I never had any problems when he stopped visiting me because of his alcoholism or whatever it was. We justify it that we are adding magic to her childhood. You can do that without Harry Potter and giving her motivation to reach her full magical potential. She's not magic.
The only trouble is that,
she's not magical. Don't try and teach her to reach for magical
She's 8 years old, is that right?
Yes.
Right. So if not now, then at least maybe within a few years, aren't all her friends going to think she's fucking mental?
Yeah, but I imagine this isn't that uncommon, right? I imagine the same thing with Santa Claus. You're like, yeah, if people still adamantly believe in Santa Claus in their mid-30s, you're like, that person's mental. So like, and even when you're 12, you're like, oh, I never really had the whole Santa Claus thing. Like, I was hit quite hard with the truth. And I was like, I don't really believe in Santa Claus. Yeah, good, because it doesn't fucking exist. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, but that's one little story. That's not an entire framework of your life. Like, yeah. This is it's not like you'd be saying to your friend, "Oh, well, don't take his pencil, because if you take his pencil, they'll send you to Azkaban."
The Soul Eaters will come.
Yeah, like I don't know any Harry Potter references, but like, yeah, like you just keep coming out with all this shit. Yeah. It's the equivalent of Santa Claus if someone just talked about Christmas all year round.
Yeah, yeah. But did you have anyone that you knew believed in Santa when you didn't? I never had that experience.
No,
no one really talked about Santa Claus.
No, same. Like it didn't. Yeah. No, I don't ever remember any conversations about Santa. Yeah. Like there was lots of Christmas stuff because it was a Christian school. But it was all more based on the Bible.
That's another weird little, not red flag, but a noticeable thing on dating profiles is when they say that they're Christian. Nothing wrong with Christians. It's just I've just had a lot of weird conversations with Christians on dating profiles, I guess.
It's become kind of a dirty word nowadays to say you're religious, but then I don't think there's anything different between like religion and most people's like modern kind of political ideologies. It's all just follows a framework about things that don't exist. Like,
does the Christian school not teach the Old Testament? They're like, forget the prequel. We're talking about the new Marvel films now.
Yeah. So there was lots of Jesus stuff. We used to sing hymns every morning and pray at like lunch and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, for what we're about to receive, may the Lord make us truly thankful. For Jesus Christ's sake, amen.
For God's sake.
And then I could eat my mashed potato.
That's good.
Yeah.
Was that the body of Christ?
No, we never did that stuff. But like, they did some Old Testament-y stuff. So there was like, you learn about like Noah's Ark and all that shit because kids love that.
They love boats.
Yeah.
Or one boat.
Yeah, those big stories. We never learned about like Sodom and Gomorrah, or like God turning people into pillars of salt. Like, why the fuck did God do that?
I went to an after-school club. I must have been like 14, 15. We used to go there because it was like, it's the place to hang out with friends.
Yeah. Kind
of a church in the middle. And they were very preachy. There's lots of religious-y kind of talk and stuff. And it was, I was one of those annoying kids who'd be like, so, what you're saying is Jesus was a bastard then? Like, what? Wow. Bastard, isn't he? I mean, what, Mary wasn't married, was she? I mean, it's like, yeah, I guess if you want to look at it that way, Jesus, our Lord, was a bastard. They just have stupid, confrontational, childish, trolley kind of conversations.
It made me completely anti-religious, like, for a good period of time after that. I don't mind religion now, and I generally don't mind a lot of religions. I think if they just offer you a framework and you don't get fucking puritanical about it, I think it's an interesting way to frame your life. I don't personally buy it, but like if people want to do it and they're not harming anyone, then go for it. But I used to be really like anti-religion, like religion's destroying the world and like all of that stuff when I was in my teens. Like it sent me the complete other way. But these days I'm not warm to it, but I just don't care.
I think it's just like people, especially if it's being forcefully done. I don't think you can argue with just peacefully preaching. If that's preaching feels kind of aggressive, but as in kind of targeted. But no, I think you can like peacefully just chat about ideas and discuss things and like if religions and that. I don't think anyone can really argue with it. And if you do it aggressively, I think intelligent people are going to react the negative way. I'm not saying you're an intelligent person, but it's not going to react the way that you want. Like there was a thing about Keanu Reeves in the paper recently that I didn't include. That was Winona Ryder when they were recording Dracula. There was a scene where she had to cry, and Keanu Reeves, Gary Oldman, and Anthony Hopkins, I think, were in it as well. And she had to cry in this scene, so the director just started calling her a whore. And started like trying to get all the actors to insult her and make her feel terrible. And you just go, unless you're incredibly vulnerable at that point in time or incredibly fragile, your back's going to get up, right? You're going to be like, what the fuck? You're going to become I'd imagine and it happened in this case where she was like, that just didn't have the intended effect. And the actors didn't want to insult her.
Maybe it's a different level. Maybe it's a completely different level of vulnerability for a bloke. Maybe it's just kind of who we are as people. But I have a feeling that if someone did that to us, we'd probably laugh.
Yeah.
Like, okay, and you're a whore, and action.
Go. And cry whore tears if you wouldn't mind. Some whorish tears, that'd be great.
Stupid, big, dumb whore tears. Did you hear about that? Making people cry on movies. There was a famous one with a kid.
And it was
Bees. It was like a Christmas film, or I don't know. There was something.
It was Macaulay Culkin. I covered this on the podcast years ago. But the Macaulay Culkin and the Bees. I can't remember what the film was called. But yeah, his friend, which was a girl his age, was at the funeral. And sorry if I'm overtaking your story.
No, go for it.
But her mum just said, and it was a funeral scene of the Macaulay Culkin. He dies in the end of the Bee film, by the way. Spoiler alert. She has to cry. So her mum just leant down and said, "Just imagine I'm dead and in that casket." And she,
No, right. So the one I heard was one of the reasons why laws about like child acts and stuff got completely changed. It was in like the 50s or the 60s or something. I cannot remember the film. I'll try and find out. But there was no parents on set. It was just the director and the kid and the rest of the cast and whatever. And the director, the kid had to cry, and the director told her parents had died. Like, she did no pretense about it. No, like, imagine it. But, like, sorry, your parents are dead. And action. Like,
Still, don't forget your lines.
And she
while
was
you're grieving.
completely inconsolable. Like, because she thought her parents were dead. She was like 6, 8 years old. Like,
I shouldn't be here. I should be doing other things.
Yeah.
Acting's a weird thing anyway. Like, the whole industry is a very strange.
Well, that's not
thing.
acting, is it?
Well, it's the business, right? The director's like, how are we going to manage this diva 8-year-old non-crying child? Well, I'm going to murder her parents in her mind.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Oh.
But yeah, so it's given this girl motivation to study so she can get into Hogwarts. They've asked their teachers, and the teachers are fine with it. They think it's quite funny and, quite genuine. No harm to it. And yeah, they're looking for more ideas for how to inject little bits of Harry Potter magic into everyday life using technology, crafts, and adding more details to the fanfic that is our lives. So anyone with any Harry Potter child-raising advice who you want to inspire the child, I guess, in a way. I guess it makes sense. But yeah, there's much more Harry... I know that Harry Potter's been successful. I just never thought of it as a fandom. But obviously it is. You know, it's not on the same kind of level as other things. But that's probably just a taste thing, right? It's like... Like I said, I watched Star Wars. I wouldn't consider myself a huge Star Wars fan. I don't know a lot of the references. I know a lot of the cultural references from TV shows that have taken the piss out of Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's kind of my level of fandom on a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
no, I'm the same way. I know about it because people talk about it.
Yeah, I just know Star Wars from Robot Chicken, mainly.
Yeah.
It's kind of the main stuff. Anyway, into some news. This whole stuff that's going on. People are starting to become less and less concerned with the lockdown, I think. Which is understandable because it's been going on for so long that people you're not meant to be able to do this.
No.
So they're going to start acting out. But everyone's just kind of relaxing things in little ways. And one of them apparently is there's a rule that only one person per household should go food shopping. So if you go food shopping, you shouldn't go with 6 family members.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we've been sticking to that, but that doesn't bother me anyway because we normally take it in turns. So.
Yeah. But like a lot of people go with family because, you know, it's a coupley thing to do, I guess. But
why would you put yourself through that?
What, spending time with your spouse?
No, but spending the time in a supermarket. Like, spend the time doing something decent, not doing something fucking awful.
No. Some people like cooking food, I guess. Or,
yeah, cooking, not buying it.
You don't start cooking in the supermarket. You take your own frying pan, take a flamethrower. Why is he frying ham? I'm just fucking special. Just fucking love hot ham, mate. Love it. But especially like elderly couples for company or whatever, as well as a valid point is people with disabilities. They need somebody to help look after them. But in Aldi, Aldi have started shouting at customers if they come in with more than one. And you go, I kind of understand why. It's kind of, I can't remember if it's still the law or, still the advice or whatever. But, it's common sense to still be one household per thing. But yeah, they're just shouting at customers. Readers of Stoke-on-Trent Live have shared their lockdown woes after being confronted by Aldi workers over why they were not alone. Why aren't you alone? They're just shouting at couples who are doing it. 45-year-old Petra Steele, who cares for husband Lee, slammed Aldi after staff stopped them from entering the Mere Park branch. So, yeah, it's this, again, kind of a carer. I'm assuming who cares for her husband is probably not just, I like my husband. It's probably like helps her husband shop. Yeah, he needs help for whatever reason. And Ian Foyne, aged 57 from Dresden, has vowed never to return to the same store after claiming staff accused him of queue jumping for getting a trolley for his friend to lean on, who has spinal problems. Number one, don't lean on a wheeled trolley. You'll fall over. Do you know what I mean? It's just going to roll away. Just, if anything, bring in a stone pillar, for God's sake. One mum claimed she was even told to leave her toddler outside. Get that baby outside!
What? All right, well,
take that baby outside.
That's stupid. Why would anyone do that? But then, so I'm of the opinion, as someone who doesn't have kids and doesn't understand that whole thing, that if you take your kid shopping with you and you don't have to, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, but maybe she had to. Maybe there's no one to care for the child.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the difference. If you don't have to, then you're a selfish twat.
I guess you can't leave kids in a car, can you?
No, don't do that.
No.
Like,
I mean, I guess you could, but I feel like it's societally frowned upon.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, it's one of those. It's like leaving kids in the car is like the whole stranger danger thing. Like, we didn't really think about it a lot when we were kids, but these days it's more frowned upon. Like
stranger danger.
Well, because we didn't have phones and everything like that, I feel like we could fuck off for hours, and it's not that the parents didn't care, but there was less of that sense of danger. Whereas now parents want to know where their kids are at all times.
Yeah. And I guess on a hot day, there's been videos of people trying to smash car windows because there's a baby in there.
Yeah, You should never leave a baby in the car.
Well, there's also the argument of the baby's probably more susceptible, maybe, to getting infected. So maybe there's a thing of like you shouldn't bring the baby in for risk of it being infected. But I can't. If it's your baby, it's your property. You can do whatever you want with it, right? No, but like if it's a parenting thing, you want your baby around you all the time to protect it.
You wouldn't want to be. You wouldn't want it to be out of sight unless you know who it's with.
Yeah. And on the same coin, right, on the other side of the coin, you go like, well, Aldi shouldn't be demanding to abandon children in car parks.
No, the kids thing is different. I thought it was on about if they're coming in like with like both parents and their kids and stuff. It's like, no, well, one of you can come in and do the shopping. The rest of you can fuck off.
Yeah. Well, there was that as well, right? Of like, couples going in when only one needs to go in.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. I don't have a problem with them like telling people to get out if that's the case.
But then again, it's also they are the authority to enforce this. It's a weird company policy. Yeah, but how do you verify whether or not a couple is living in the same house? There have to be some kind of scrutinization to be like, we think they live together. Fuck them. You'd be like, you can be married and not live together, or you can be two parents and not live in the same household, and you need to buy things for different reasons. So it's how can you actively enforce it, I guess.
Yeah, but
it's kind of
again, I don't think that's the case for most of the instances.
I don't know, but I think to enforce it would be difficult because you just have to hire a private detective, I guess. And an Aldi private detective, I get the impression, would not speak English, as in like their brand products are usually not written in English. They're kind of like cheaper imported foods. So it would be kind of like a Pink Panther situation. And I don't think that that's going to help. Classically, he gets into spots of trouble.
Yeah. Good wages, though.
Good wages. Oh yeah. Aldi, famous for paying £10 an hour or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyway, in other news, I've just got this written down. Tony Hawk has a masterclass.
Excellent.
Just find it funny. I just find it funny about this masterclass. I've been interested in it, but it's been quite expensive.
Yeah, I know. I keep seeing advertisements for them and for loads of different ones, and there are a surprisingly large amount of them now. Like a lot of people have bought, a lot of like good artists, directors, and whoever else have really kind of bought into that program.
And there is something interesting about it. It's essentially like an in-depth video podcast tutorial about how, like, Gordon Ramsay teaches you how to cook, little things like that, which would be quite interesting to watch.
Yeah.
But I think it's weird. I think it's interesting for Tony Hawk to be like, first of all, you got to get your kickflip into the stale fish, and then, heaven is a half pipe, and then whatever. It just feels strange to be sat down and over voice talking about how to skateboard. Stand on it, don't fall off.
Yeah,
and grind. There you go.
Yeah. I suppose for like an athletic endeavor, it is a bit odd.
Yeah,
because you don't learn about that stuff in a classroom. Like that's what this kind of thing's for.
Just jump really high. All right? That's good advice. It's probably great. It's probably really interesting. It was just a reactional laugh from me.
Yeah.
Like, Tony Hawk's teaching you how to skateboard via the internet. Cool. In other strange news, this is probably more political than I would say, but 2 years ago, Egypt adopted a law allowing the government to censor the internet and conduct surveillance of communications. Since then, an Egyptian belly dancer has been jailed for 3 years and fined the equivalent of £15,000 for inciting debauchery and immorality. This belly dancer is emitting some quite sexual undertones, don't you think? How debaucherous! Put her in prison.
What fucking hell? Is Egypt just one of those incredibly conservative countries?
It must be if you could be put in jail for debauchery and
belly
immorality.
Dancing. Yeah.
Immorality. You're in jail for... What were you doing? I don't know, but apparently it was immoral. Was it illegal? It was immoral.
Yeah, I was dancing from the waist up.
Yeah, and just hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Sama El Masri, who is well known in Egypt, was arrested in April as part of an investigation into videos and photos on social media. Prosecutors described the posts as sexually suggestive, and Cairo's misdemeanors economic court said she had violated family principles and values, as well as using accounts on social media with the aim of committing immorality. It's a social... I mean... It's definitely a fact that social media has been used to elicit sexual imagery whilst keeping kind of a grey area. I mean, like the Kardashians, right? Their whole thing is we put lots of I don't know what the liquid's called, but bags of liquid under our arse or in our face so that we look more attractive for more social media posts.
Yeah. It's
kind of like accepted, and there's nothing legally wrong with that. There's something questionable about, like, just love yourself for who you are. But it's obviously a place where people are amping themselves up to try and gain sexual attention. Especially, I mean, a belly dancer. I don't know what the culture around how people view belly dancers. I think it's seen more as a traditional thing, as opposed to like a sexualized thing. Although there's got to be a sexual nature to it, surely.
But only in as much as there is in any dancing. I think a lot of dance it has its roots in seduction, right?
Probably. I mean, like the backup dancers for Maroon 5.
No,
Maroon 5 didn't have backup dancer, didn't they? Who am I thinking of? 5, just 5.
Yeah.
What should we call our band? 5? Why? Well, there's 5 of us. Case.
Yeah.
And that's lunch. Fucking 5. That is a band, right? I'm not imagining.
Yeah.
There was a band called 5.
It was a 90s boy band.
Yeah, I think I did a dance competition, qualification.
Yeah.
Like first grade dance, I think I did to a 5 song, I think. And there was something about pulling something down like a lumberjack in reverse. I had a weird childhood. I don't think I got second grade. Can't remember.
No.
I think I tested for it in Oxford somewhere.
But it came back negative.
I think, yeah. He's devoid of dance. God damn. Cheers. But yeah, belly dancers. I mean, yeah, just you can post whatever I guess you can't post whatever you want on social media.
Well, no, you can't post a striptease. That's the thing. I suppose it depends how, like, exposing how much flesh. Because Egypt is one of those places where women have to cover their shoulders, isn't it?
I don't know.
So, like,
maybe
it could be a thing of like, well, exposing flesh during dancing or whatever is against the law. You could dance.
It's immoral.
But you're not allowed to
yeah.
show your stomach or something.
Yeah, it's just a strange another one of like, this would be very different in other countries.
Yeah.
And social media kind of feels like a country in itself. So, yeah, weird reaction. So probably that's quite bad. Just found it funny. In more alarming news, an abandoned oil tanker off of the Yemen coast is at risk of exploding.
Oh.
The damaged ship is threatening massive environmental damage to Red Sea marine life, desalination factories, and international shipping routes. So there's just a ship that's going to explode. And the UN wants to intervene, but Yemen says no. The United Nations said an abandoned oil tanker moored off the coast of Yemen, loaded with more than 1 million barrels of crude oil, is at risk of rupture or exploding. Houthi rebels who control the area. Oh, sorry, so it's not Yemen. It's these Houthi, Houthi rebels who control the area where the ship is moored have denied UN inspectors access to the vessel. You can't come in because we're rebels.
Oh, they're like pirates. Is this like those
maybe
those pirates that started taking people a while ago?
Maybe.
South Park did a bit on
Somalia, wasn't it? Something like that. I am the captain now. Internal documents obtained by the Associated Press shows that seawater has entered the engine compartment. Seen it from a satellite. Oh, yeah. It's going to explode. And it hasn't been maintained, increasing the risk of sinking. Rust discovered parts of the tanker, and the inert gas that prevents the tanks from gathering inflammable gas has leaked out. So the gas that protects the gas is fucked off. So now the gas will fuck rebels.
I understand.
Amping up the gas. Experts say maintenance is no longer possible because the damage is irreversible.
Okay.
So if you hear a bang, it's Yemen.
Gone. Yemen, what a rebel.
And in other news, in other non-exploding news, sports are coming back to the world.
Oh, good.
In this lockdown, including baseball. And baseball's a weird sport. I guess it's cricket for Americans, and I don't get cricket. But it's the same kind of culture of games go on for a long time.
Yeah,
it's mainly about the social gathering and maintaining consistent good play rather than having like incredible breakout moments unless it gets to the point. There's no crying in baseball, but this year there will also be no spitting. You're not allowed to spit in baseball anymore because of coronavirus.
Oh, just ruining everything. What about the great American pastime of spitting?
Beautiful game. No chewing tobacco, I guess, because you would therefore have to spit, right?
Yep.
No fans in the stands, so no one can go to the live games, and no pitchers licking their fingers. So stop licking your fingers. Yep. Apparently, they do this to kind of get more grip on the baseball when they throw it.
Okay.
And no showering in the clubhouse, so you can't which I think Doug Stanhope did a great bit about like why it's weird, like these multi-million-dollar earning athletes are having to share a shower.
Yeah,
and that's that they didn't want homosexuals in the sport because they didn't want to shower with them. It's like, can you think? I don't want to ruin his amazing comedy bit, but like, can you name any other industry apart from sports where after the sales meeting, everyone goes and has a massive communal shower?
Yeah, no.
It's just like, don't shower together. It's fine. MLB, which is the Major League Baseball, I think, has unveiled a 120-page safety guide as it prepares to play a 60-game season, which is apparently like a shorter season to make it simpler, attempted to keep everyone safe. Most players will not be allowed to sit in the dugout. Some will sit in the stands because there's no fans in there. Players and umpires are required to stay 6 feet apart when possible, even during the national anthem. Oh, controversy.
God. Don't take a knee, whatever you do.
I mean, the national anthem is a massive American cultural thing, right? You grew up in Christian school reciting God or whatever, praying at lunchtime, whatever it is. Americans have that with the national anthem every morning. I did it when I was an American school child.
And they pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
And it's like, I think that I don't see that in the UK schools. Of like, there is the national anthem played before every before every football game. I think
we're still patriotic. We're just much more cynical and less give a fuck about it. It's like, I like my country. Don't go on about it.
Just not as regurgitative. I guess it's not. Just it's
more critical. We like it. We like it only to the point where we're still able to criticize it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's no kind of like, there isn't nearly as much like blind allegiance.
Yeah, and if you do put your St. George's flag out the window, it has much worse connotations than patriotism.
Which I still find bizarre. It's like, you can't patriate a flag. That's our flag. It's not just for racists, it's for everybody.
Yeah, I think there's just so many racists adopted it that it became like, whoa.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of them. I mean, it's like the Confederate flag, I guess, the St. George's flag. You go, it's just a flag, but it was adopted by bad people. But the Confederate flag was created and held within, wasn't it?
No, that's different. Like, this is it's always been an English flag. Like,
maybe the Union Jack is less. I think if you had I've got 360-inch or something Union Jack somewhere.
Yeah.
that I bought a while ago, and I felt very uncomfortable when me and my housemate locked ourselves out of our house, and we got home from a shift at 2 a.m. or something, and couldn't get in, so we had to ask our neighbour, who was very nice guy, very nice family, but like we were just two young guys who were stupid, so we always have to ask him for help. He had to break into our house. He was like, can we borrow your ladder? And then we were like, we can't break. Can you break into the house, please? We're not very good. And then, so he did it, but like when he turned on the lights by the door, it was like a massive Union Jack. It's just like, it's just, we think it's cool. I saw it in Californication. I thought I would do it. Like, we're not, it's fine. All right, cheers, bye. But yeah, they have to stand 6 feet apart during the national anthem in Major League Baseball. Idle spitting that often characterizes downtime during the game will be prohibited, along with tobacco, but they can still chew gum. Okay. It characterizes downtime. Spitting. Great. They will also have to restrain themselves during euphoric moments, as celebrations like dumping Gatorade on teammates after a game-winning home run, or slapping a shaving cream pie in a teammate's face during a post-game television interview are banned. Alright guys, look, no more shaving cream pie antics, okay? No more Gatorade.
It's all just don't touch each other.
yeah, just stay away. Don't punch someone else with a shaving cream pie.
Yeah.
All right. And lastly, from me, this is coming in from a listener as well. A sex addict is suing Amazon-owned platform Twitch for $25 million because it has too many scantily clad gamers that left him excited and he injured himself.
How did he injure himself?
So Estevilo, which is his name, has unsuccessfully sued other companies in the past as well, including Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. Fucking Princess Peach. She's too scantily clad.
Jesus Christ.
Gamer and self-proclaimed sex addict is suing Twitch, claiming it caused him to masturbate and hurt his penis. The suit claims Eric Estevillo of San Francisco is following 786 female gamers and 0 male streamers, and that the list of women keeps on growing because he has little control over his addiction. So Twitch, if people don't know, is a live broadcasting service usually used for computer games. So you can watch people play games competitively or play games casually, and it's usually got a webcam and that you can talk with the player as they're playing the games. It's also evolved into Twitch IRL, which is just people doing what we're kind of doing, which is just talking, but they would do it with a live audience and they would discuss things with the live audience as much as you can through text.
Yeah.
You know, they text in chat box and you reply vocally. And then it's evolved into game shows and, there's podcasts as well and whatever that's going on. And there has been a lot of talk of female streamers like social media, are dressing a little bit provocatively, which is fine, but they believe they're doing it with the intention of gaining more viewers because of it. And there's a whole community of like, oh, you're wearing a low-cut top, why are you doing this? It's like, well, because it's more comfortable. Yeah, but you're doing it to get more viewers, and there are some people who do this, and there are some people who don't, and they're just being normal people.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't mind that as much. Like, it's a free country. Do what you want. If it works, and you're happy, like, entertaining the kind of people that you're going to attract by doing that, then more power to you.
But it's the same thing that people yell at celebrities in newspapers, like, oh, look at her bikini body, isn't it bad? Or, look, why is she wearing this on the red carpet of the whatever fucking awards?
It's someone using a tactic that is available to them. That's all.
No, sorry, I mean the people who are ridiculing them.
Yeah. Are
the same people who will ridicule celebrities in magazines.
Yeah. But like, then like, I don't understand that. Like, it's the whole, like, people being fattest or weightest or whatever the fuck it is called now. It's like there's no such thing. Like, it's just good looking people, and you just have to deal with it in life that some people are going to be more good looking than you.
Yeah,
I can't listen to people talk about it without them seeming bitter.
Yeah. Well, Twitch also has a large crowdfunding aspect, as in you can pay donations for streamers to do certain things, or to say certain things, or to read out loud, or just to get their attention so they can read your statement, kind of thing. So there's also the belief that they're doing this to gain more donations.
Yeah,
I'm like you. I don't really care. It's just there's definitely a weird culture.
It's like, look, if it works, and if they're happy making money like that. To be clear, like, I don't personally agree with it. I don't think it's a particularly moral way to make money. But I don't begrudge them doing it. They're not breaking the law. They're not really doing anything wrong. And really, the people responsible for it are the people that are giving them money. Like, if there's people in the world that are willing to reward that kind of shit, then yeah, it's going to happen. And they're not breaking the law. They're not doing anything wrong. And if you complain about it, you're only really complaining about it because you can't do it.
I guess it's seen as an attempt to manipulate people out of money. And you go, maybe it is, but if you're angry about that, then there's so much more to be angry about, because this is how all advertising works, is they're trying to manipulate you for your money. Yeah. So it's like, it's just given a face and a person to yell that issue at, which is, just if it offends you, and yeah, people are idiots. If it offends you, don't think you can change their mind. If you think they're doing it to manipulate, just stop giving them money. Yeah. Stop paying attention to them.
Don't watch them then. Like, that's the thing. Like, you're in full control of your own capacity. Like, you just don't be a part of it.
But it's the same as the Twitter mob and all that kind of stuff, isn't it? Of just like, people just love to just yell vile abuse at people because they can't deal with their own emotions. I guess
people just love talking bollocks.
But yeah, the complaint filed June 15th in Santa Clara County Court seeks $25 million. A spokesperson for Twitch dismissed the legal action as frivolous and having absolutely no merit. In one case, he sued Blizzard, alleging sneaky and deceitful practices in World of Warcraft. I mean, there's rogues. It's like rogues that go invisible.
Yeah.
I think, he described the deceitful practice as walking in the game. So I think, like, the female characters walk with a sway is the only thing, because I've got quite a bit of experience in World of Warcraft. Like, I think maybe, and watching people walk. No, like, I think maybe it's trying to argue.
And injuring myself while masturbating.
Yeah. Trying to sue people for millions of dollars. He tried to sue Blizzard for that, and reports that Estevillo tried to recruit 80s electronic music band Depeche Mode. Listen, I'm trying to sue Activision or whoever. Who do I need on my side? Depeche Mode. And Winona Ryder, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Depeche Mode, though. Oh, you want to have Depeche Mode on your side. His litigious ways have led to some to call Castivo the PSN plaintiff. I think that's PlayStation Network, PSN. Referring to the initials used for Sony's PlayStation Network. He also uses the name for his autobiography, available now on Amazon. In the suit against Twitch, Estevillo claims that he suffers from depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD, agoraphobia, and Crohn's disease. He also says he is a sex addict and blames his OCD.
Okay.
I love that sex has got to be obsessively compulsive disorder. I get, maybe it is, but like, some people turn the light switch off and then on again.
Yeah.
Other people need to have 25 people orgies on every Wednesday. It's just a weird little thing, but I guess flicking a light switch on and off again is probably the same as masturbation.
There's plenty of men in the world who've had trouble with compulsive wanking that haven't had OCD.
That haven't sued Twitch or World of Warcraft. His complaint also details how Estevillo came to hurt himself when he resorted to a Fleshlight-branded sex toy to masturbate while gazing at the females on Twitch. Estevillo ended up chafing his penis every day with the device.
Oh, God.
Bro, just use a lube or something. Some people put it in the microwave. Just don't do it fucking dry. The complaint Adds that he suffered redness, sure, and mild infections, since the fleshlight is electrical and also vibrates. All right, maybe you should put it in the microwave then, I guess. And applied an antibiotic ointment to avoid necrosis.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, he wanked so much and so dry that the skin on his dick died. He also complained of a bloodshot eyes from staying up for hours staring at the female gamers.
This is your fault, dude.
And he claims he once ejaculated on his monitor, causing it to explode. More accurately, I just love saying it exploded because it does, causing it to short circuit and spark a fire that left his apartment in a blackout. Boom! Goddamn Twitch! So I think, like, it started off. I did genuinely believe there was people as misguided as this, but I kind of feel like if that's your complaint, that, well, I got bloodshot eyes for staying up so late as well, because, you know, there's so many women, and I wanked on my monitor and my house blacked out. I think he's doing it to be silly. He's trolling, I guess. Apparently he's got a YouTube channel, so maybe he's doing it to promote that.
Okay, maybe.
But still, it's a genuine filed court case, or sue. He's trying to sue. So
Yeah.
it takes a bit of effort. You know, we're classically quite bad at promoting our YouTube channel. So
Yeah, maybe we should just start wanking.
Start suing, I don't know, Crash Bandicoot or something.
Yeah.
Goddamn weird animal. Yeah. So yeah, it's, that's my stuff in the news this week.
Oh, excellent. All right. Not to go back to too many current events, but an estate agents group in Texas says it will no longer use the word master to describe its bedrooms and bathrooms in its listings because they're scared that their houses will be called racist.
That's a racist house, that is.
Yeah. They're changing it to primary. It's the primary bedroom, the primary bathroom. It's like, I don't think you're really partaking in the discussion that the rest of the country's having by just removing the word master from your vernacular. Like,
yeah, well, it just feels
I
like
have a
feels
master's
like
degree.
Pretending.
What the fuck am I going to do?
Well, isn't like the son of the family is also meant to be called a master? I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I think that was an idea. It's weird, outdated.
I'd understand it if it was like if it had some relation to slavery, as in if it was directly related. Oh, it was called the master bedroom because it's where the master of the slaves slept, or whatever. Like I understand.
Is it like chess, where like all the slave owners get together and have a grand tournament? Who is the slave master? Gonna figure this out.
I understand that, but it hasn't. It's just the master of the house is not a term that is related to slavery.
Yeah. Well, it's just it feels disingenuine. It just feels like it's trying to. This is the definition of a cover-up.
Yeah.
Right. This whole thing with other things going on, and I read recently as well that this Family Guy, the guy who voices Cleveland in Family Guy, is white, and he's stepped down so that he can be replaced with a black voiceover artist.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm totally open to being wrong. I think The Simpsons have done the same thing as well. They vowed to never have a voiceover actor that's representing the character of a specific race. But I mean, they're
The Simpsons
fictional
died
racists.
years ago. Like,
yes,
morally, like they're dead and buried.
Well, just quality-wise as well.
Yeah.
It felt like it really dropped. But it just, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the way forward. But it just feels like less. It just feels bad. It just feels like you're just segregating races, and it feels like it's going to be more difficult to create quality content because, let's say The Simpsons come up with a new character that, let's for argument's say, is really good, really interesting, very high quality character, but they've got to select a I don't know, someone from Alaska or someone from an Inuit person to do the voiceover for it, and they struggle to find a good available Inuit voiceover actor to voice that character. It's just a strange hurdle when you go, should it really just be the message that's being broadcast?
Yeah.
Should it be... It just feels strange to me. It feels like you're putting more hurdles in the way of something that could be more effective for the cause that you're trying to ally to.
But it's the thing. It's this whole skin tone for an actor thing is stupid anyway. It's always been stupid. It's the same. It's the same argument that they use for we shouldn't have straight actors playing gay roles. We shouldn't have like cisgender people playing trans people. We shouldn't have like X versus Y. And we had this discussion a while ago when people were bitching about Aladdin or something, and the argument that someone had was Will Smith ain't blue, like he's playing the genie, he ain't blue, like, and it's the same shit. They're actors, like.
But just what is your goal? If you're like, let's say that I'd argue that one of the best things you can use to spread the word of your cause or your issue is through television, film, these kind of well-written examples that kind of think about and deconstruct and really portray the good idea you're trying to portray. If you're trying to make that process more difficult by putting more parameters around what you can and cannot do, and I know this is probably quite an extreme thing, but this is just where my mind thinks. You go, well, if you can only have parallel raced people voicing cartoons that depict a particular race, does that mean that you can only have people from that race write the lines for that character? Like, where do you want to stop? What is the point you're trying to make? Is it that you're trying to get more race representation in the product, in the show, so that there's more jobs for more racially diversity? Because if that's the case, you can do that with everything. It doesn't have to be specific to race. People can exist and imagine outside of their own race because we're all the same. We're all people. The more you try and say, no, only black people are allowed to do black voices. Yeah. Or write for black characters or think about black issues, you go, you're just segregate. You're just putting people into a box.
Like, those are the people that are saying that we're not all equal, that we're not the same, that we shouldn't be treated the same. And I feel like most people feel this way, but just not a lot of people are open to talking about it.
Well, it makes so much sense to me to treat everybody equally.
Yeah.
Within that regard of just an actor is an actor. They portray somebody who is not themselves. Let them portray whoever they want to do it. If they do it badly, then they won't succeed very well. If they do it brilliantly, then they'll succeed very well.
It's a meritocracy. The best person for the job gets the job.
And it just feels strange. It makes so much sense to me to just allow people to equally do what they want to do in film and television and cartoons.
Yeah.
That I just go, hey, I might be wrong. Maybe this is the right way forward. I'm interested to see where it goes, but I mean, I really don't understand it right now. I just go, it just feels like you're causing more problems for the cause that you claim to be allying to. Yeah. It's just like, have you thought this through? It's very short-sighted.
It's a cult, man. It's a religion. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's just think about what it is you want to achieve. Yeah, do you want to get your message out there by having better writers for those characters? Or do you want to have a better stereotype of cartoon race? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the message would be more important, but maybe I'm wrong. Be interesting.
The aviation minister of Pakistan says that nearly 1 in 3 of the country's pilots have fake licenses.
Some guy, right? What do you want to fly? Fighter jet? Let's put fighter jet. Stamp. Just take that to the fighter jet hangar. You'll be fine.
It says that 262 pilots in the country did not take the exam themselves and had someone else sit it on their behalf. The results of the investigation were announced on Wednesday as part of a preliminary report into a plane crash that killed 97 people in Karachi on May 22nd. And there's been no word on whether the pilots of that plane had.
But implied though, I guess.
Yeah. But 1 in 3 pilots don't have a license. It's so stupid.
optimistically, they could all be able to fly. I mean, obviously they are, apart from that plane that crashed.
But it's not all internal either. Like some of them fly for other for other countries.
Yeah, it just you would expect that planes would have a higher level of scrutiny when it comes to.
I've got to take my fucking shoes off when I got on a plane. This cunt hasn't even got a license.
Doesn't even know where third gear is. I mean, can he parallel park that Boeing? Just like there's loads of people who got fake driver's licenses or just pretend to. You don't go for their driver's license, but you go. There's so many people. There's so many cars.
Yeah,
it's going to be difficult to manage. There's not that many pilots, right?
No,
there's not that many planes.
Well, so in Pakistan, there's I think like 860 pilots or something like that, which isn't a lot for a profession. There are 800 odd of you that do it in the country. Like that's not much. Yeah. You can't ensure that not all of them have a license.
Yeah, just please, like, just get a barcode or something.
Yeah.
Do a poll on Facebook. Just, we'll pay for you to learn how to fly. We need pilots. Just need you to learn how to fly completely, not just like, you know, I drove around on my provisional license, and I think I did fine, so I think I'll just go and go and do it.
Yeah.
Seems odd. I mean, did you ever, that's a weird way to phrase it, but when you had your provisional license, did you ever drive solo?
No.
I did it once. Well, solo. I drove with a friend to drop him off at work once, and that was pretty intense. As in, like, you know, I was comfortable driving, but it was very much that if I get pulled over, I'm just arrested. You know, I can't have a driving license. So it's like, can you imagine doing that with, I don't know, 600 people in the plane?
Yeah.
Hope we don't get pulled over. All these people might die.
Yeah, pull over. Jeez. I don't know how.
yeah. So yeah, intensity on a scale of a Boeing 747.
Yeah. Producers of the Lord of the Rings TV series in New Zealand have put out a casting call for funky-looking people. Oh. They list facial burns, long skinny limbs, acne scars.
How funky!
Deep cheekbones, facial lines, missing bones, large eyes.
You'll love this next guy. He hasn't got a fucking skull. Missing bones, not missing limbs.
No,
he's got no jawbone. Like a fucking octopus. Yeah. He's got no shin bone, but he has got feet bones. It's weird. You see him hop around. Like a mace.
Yeah.
Missing bones.
Yeah, like I don't find it like I don't really have any problem with that. I think as long as as long as you've got like a certain degree of self-confidence, you'll be fine. And plus it'll be a bunch of people that'll be like, I get to be in Lord of the Rings. That's fucking. I don't care if they're casting me because I'm ugly. This guy gets casted because he's not ugly. Why should I be any different?
I overheard a guy on a train once who was like a professional extra in his spare time. And I think, I can't remember what film it was, but I think it was one of the Batman films. He was like, I don't know, a member of the jury, and he was like talking to someone. He's like, I've just been to see it, and I'm in Batman. It's fucking great. So like, you don't have to. It's not everybody would love. There's lots of people, regardless of how many bones they have. He's gonna be really happy to be in a film, and you know, most people would be like, yeah, no, I'd fit that. Like, I think like zombies or like Viking zombies. I think somebody lent me a thing. I don't think I look very Viking, but I'm tall and have a beard.
Yeah.
So maybe I fit an, you know, master's level film about, you know, the university project about something. I could probably do something like that. But yeah, so all fun for everyone involved. It just, you know, funky people, you know, those without bones.
Funky looking people.
Long, thin arms.
Yeah. Acne scars, deep cheekbones, facial lines, missing bones, large eyes, and skinny faces.
Large eyes. You got massive eyes? Pop in. Why? We want to make you into a goblin. Okay?
Okay. Do I get to be on TV? Yeah.
All right.
Now everyone can make fun of me.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun. I mean, I think people who are going to those kind of things want to because they would enjoy it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the article said that, like, during the filming of the Hobbit things, they put out a casting call, like a similar casting call in Ireland when they were doing some filming over there, and they had to call the police because so many people showed up. Like, it was an open casting call, and like 3,000 people just showed up to this fucking field. It's like, we need to call the police and get this sorted out. Like, people will go.
Yeah. And it's usually with a positive response as well. It's not like seen as there to make fun of.
No.
I mean, there's a load of famous actors who have been famous actors, but people who have become prolific because of how they look. Was it The Hills Have Eyes?
Yeah.
There was like I think a bald guy in that with a lot of pockmarks on his face. I think he did that. He got a lot of acting work off of that. And then famously the guy from The Devil's Rejects and is it Big Fish with Ewan McGregor? Like the really tall guy, he got a lot of acting work because of how he looked, and he loved it. It was very. It has been reported.
Yeah,
that he was a big fan of it. So it's like I think it's a positive thing to do. It's not going there. Come in so we can make fun of you. No, no, let's make you into a really cool goblin.
Yeah.
So there's a positive energy behind it. I think
definitely.
But yeah, just and you're gonna have to recruit certain. Yeah, that's the advert you would have to write if you want to get people, without a funny bone or without a nose bone.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
3 family members who drowned in a backyard pool in New Jersey did not know how to swim, the police have said.
We'll pick it up as we go along. Be fine. Dogs can swim. Babies can swim. I can swim.
The above ground pool was mostly shallow at 3.5 feet, but there was a portion of the pool that was 7 feet deep, and it doesn't appear that the victims knew how to swim, the office said.
Oh, God.
East Brunswick police were called at the home located at 43 Clearview Road at 4:18 p.m. and found 3 family members unresponsive in the pool, police said. They were pronounced dead shortly after being found. Like,
they're dead.
Yeah. Well, initially, it's
panic,
like they showed up and there's like 3 people floating on the pool. Like, and they were like, maybe electricity, maybe something shorted and it's just killed them all. Not like none of them knew how to swim and they all got in the pool at home and they all drowned.
There is a lot of planning that went into their own demise.
Yeah,
right, is the point. You had to order an above ground pool, which is in the hundreds of pounds or whatever. I'd assume you'd have to fill the pool yourself. So just don't fill it above your face, right? Just fill it to your waist or something. No. The manual says fill it up to the top. All right, now everyone in.
Well, I can't. Right, I can't remember. I can't remember exactly how it was when I didn't know how to swim because I was like a kid, like really young. But like, as long as there was a point where you could stand up, you could generally like hobble your way over to it, even if you were coughing and your head was going underwater and shit. Like you could. I think I thought there was a certain kind of natural instinct that would get you there.
I think there is, like doggy paddling or whatever, can kind of get you going a little, but maybe you haven't got as strong muscles. Maybe I think the panic is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Panic is probably what paralyzes most people. Because you could also say, well, if you sink to the bottom, you can jump back up.
Yeah.
But you'd need a certain level of confidence to do that without freaking the fuck out, I guess.
Yeah. But then it's like one person gets in and they can't swim and they start drowning. And then the next person's like, oh, I'll save you. And they get in and they start drowning. And then the third person isn't like, well, I don't know how to swim either. It's like, there's just a certain degree of confidence there. It's like, I'll save you.
Peer pressure.
And then they drown as well.
Yeah. They all jump in for a selfie in the air or something. Then they all die. I saw a video today, actually, of... because there's a weird fact about babies that and this goes. I think this was in reference to certain memories being ingrained in some way within your own genetic build-up. So within your DNA, there's certain memories that you carry with you. Like if a baby dives into a pool, or a baby is thrown into a pool, it instinctively knows to hold its breath.
Yeah.
It has no reason.
Yeah.
There's no one's taught it. It just knows I'm supposed to hold my breath now. So I saw a video today of a woman just chucking her baby into a pool and jumping in with it, and the baby just completely submerges, but then comes up on its back, and like you can see it kind of doing the reflexive.
Vix was telling me about that the other day. Like they started classes that do have that, like plunging your baby into water, and they start it out like really, like at a small distance, and just gradually increase it over time. And it's because a lot of infants fall in pools.
Yeah,
and it's to try and lower that. Because I guess if you fall in a pool from the side and you don't know how to swim, you're much more likely to go into shock.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a baby that I don't think can walk.
Yeah,
you know. So and again, it kind of makes sense, but there's still that weird reaction of, "Oh my god, the baby is gone." I've seen Jaws. I know what happens next. Just get that, but the baby just floats up to the top with his face up, and is like moving his arms and legs to try and remain buoyant and move and stuff like that. And she only does it for a couple of seconds. I think she clicks above his face to make sure the baby can see.
Yeah.
And then she grabs him, but it's like, oh my god, it's so fucking. There's a weird. It's as much as the baby's memory is like, oh, I can just hold my breath. I think every human's like, that baby is drowning.
Yeah.
Get it out.
Yeah.
How the hell did we get onto that? I can't remember.
I don't. Oh, the drowning in the backyard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there must be some kind. There is a level of instinctive swimming, I think.
Yeah.
But there's just so many other factors that can really fuck you up, I guess. And again, maybe they were remaining buoyant for quite a long time, but they weren't able to move to a shallower area for whatever reason, and they just exhausted themselves. And maybe that's the thing that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
There's a couple more, maybe one. Producers of an upcoming Netflix adaptation of Sherlock Holmes are being sued because their depiction of the character is, quote, too nice.
Did you like the Benedict Cumberbatch and?
I've only seen.
Oh my god, what's his name?
Is it Martin Freeman?
It's one of my favourite actors. Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah,
I've only seen a few of them.
I've started watching.
I know
them again
people were like
recently.
really, really into that show, but I've only seen a couple of them.
Yeah, I think it's just it's the depiction of a BBC show. I think I guess there's like a lot of it is like, oh, can you believe how rude he's being? Yeah, there's lots of rude people. I'm probably one of those rude people.
Yeah,
not smart, but I can be rude. It's fine. And the soundtrack was always really funky, weird, and the plots were always a bit like but it felt like I had that reaction to a lot of BBC shows. I think.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan, but I'm still watching it.
Well, so that's kind of related. So it says Arthur Conan Doyle's estate is suing Netflix over its upcoming film Enola Holmes, arguing that the show's depiction of Sherlock Holmes as kind and caring and respectful of women is a violation of the author's copyright. So basically, there's a certain amount of the Sherlock Holmes textbooks or whatever that have that are no longer copyrighted, that have been around for so long that they're now in public domain. Then there's another chunk of them that are still under copyright. The first ones that have fallen out of copyright depict Sherlock Holmes as being, like you were saying about the other, like emotionally unavailable, aloof, like quite calculated and more of an intellectual than anything. And then the later books went more into like him as an emotional side. So they're saying that because the character is more on the emotional side, they're using copyrighted material. Or they're being influenced by copyrighted material. Whereas the ones like the BBC one, which is more cold, calculated and everything like that, are using the non-copyrighted material, so it's fine.
Right.
So, like, it does make sense. It was just, like, being sued because he's nice.
We've got emotional openness under copyright, so
you
shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense, right? It's their character.
Yeah.
And there is an element of open domain about a lot of it, but if you're just taking someone's character, somebody's story, and somebody's writing, and then passing it off as something else, I guess there could be similarities there if the personality is changed to the public image of, the public image of Sherlock Holmes is he's rude and a high functioning sociopath or whatever.
Yeah.
So if suddenly he starts, I don't know, gardening, then hey, that's what he's doing in the book that we still copyrighted. So where did you get that idea from?
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense. But yeah, it's a shame, but I think you've got to protect the original writer, right? In some way.
Well, I mean, like, I think they'll be at a point where they just need to make sure they can kind of squeeze as much money as they can out of what's left of the franchise. Because if it's all starting to go into public domain now, that's their cash cow that's like slowly melting away.
There's an element of that, but let's take who is the sweet corn giant? I can't remember. Ho ho ho.
Yeah.
Green giant, right? So say he had an elaborate backstory. Right, and he had like these adventures that he went on. If you've written that, and then someone goes, "I like that idea. I'm going to use the exact same name and the exact same character image and his personality, but I'm going to send him to Texas." You'd be like, "Well, hang on. We did all this effort to write and craft this character, and now you've just taken it to write your own." There has to be some kind of relationship or deal or contract between them. You can't just be like, "Oh, I like that Mona Lisa painting. In fact, I'm going to copy it, but I'm going to put it in a different frame." You'd be like, there needs to be some relationship with it. And they've already accepted that, hey, after a certain number of years and infamy, then it's going to be like, yeah, Sherlock Holmes is kind of known now. You can't just control it all. You can't be Disney and just start buying everything.
Disney's weird, man. So Disney, every time... So there's a bunch of their stuff that should have already gone into public domain. But every time that that point comes up, they lobby the government to extend the public domain law. So they influence the change of the entire law in the States in order to protect Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, and Goofy.
Yeah. It's bizarre. Well, I guess that's just what money will get you.
Yeah, there's a profit to be had out of it. I guess you can try. You can still be wrong for doing so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And finally, a Chinese man's bladder has exploded after holding a piss for 18 hours.
I've always heard really bad things about that.
Yeah.
Never exploding. But
yeah.
Still not best for your health.
The 40-year-old man, identified only as Mr. Who, no relation to Doctor, reportedly fell asleep after downing 10 bottles of beer during a heavy drinking session the night prior, without heading for a piss once. When the doctor says when you drink alcohol, it causes the body to produce more urine than usual, and that can potentially contribute to the bladder being full. Yeah, drink more, piss more. Makes sense. And when accompanied by an inebriated individual being less aware of his fullness, this can result in traumatic bladder rupture.
This actually happened to me.
Did it?
Yeah, when I was a kid, when I was like 12. It didn't explode, but I think I was close.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how long it was until I pissed, but we were going on a family drive to see other family, which is like an hour and a half's drive. And I remember being absolutely bursting to go for a piss before we left, or just before we left, and I didn't go. And then in the car journey, I was like, I'll just sleep, and then I'll wake up and it'll be fine. That makes sense. But then, yeah, just incredible pain.
Yeah.
And I didn't put two and two together at all. Like, I just, my auntie who was in the car was a nurse, and she's like, we'll go to hospital. Went to hospital, and it was incredibly tender, like when my appendix burst, and just poked and prodded. Like, well, we'll go for more tests. And I was like, oh, I actually need to go to the bathroom. What can I do? And they brought me this, like, it's like a cardboard water bottle, is what it looked like, with like a large opening,
right,
so that you could piss into it.
Yeah.
And I filled 2 of them. And the doctor was just... And I just remember the look on the nurse's face when she came... Because I had to stop halfway, obviously, because the first one was full. She just came to pick up... Okay, have you been to the bathroom? Yeah, she just picked up and went, whoa, this is full. Yeah, can I have another one? Yeah, sure. Came back. And then as the doctor comes back, are you feeling better? Like, oh yeah, I feel great now. Right. I think you could be excused. I think discharged. I think he just needed a piss. Everybody's stupid. I'm not going to say that I'm not less stupid. I'm more stupid than most. I just needed to piss and I went to hospital. Yeah. Like 12 or something.
For fuck's sake.
I've been a burden on the universe for quite a while. My point is that it went away. Like, I was like, I really need to piss, and then your brain can just forget about it. I wasn't drunk or anything like that. It was just like, it just faded away. And then it didn't feel like I needed to piss. It just felt like painful. So I was like, I'll just sleep, and then hopefully it'll go away. So I was trying to sleep in the car, and I just didn't sleep. No, I slept and then woke up and was like, no, I'm just in a lot of pain. So my parents were like, well, my mum was like, well, we'll go to hospital.
That's the thing I don't understand. Like, if it got to that point, would you not piss yourself?
No, not that. Didn't happen.
I don't like. It just seems
pressure,
weird that your body would be like, no, we're just gonna let ourselves explode, rather than just letting this go.
Rather than just piss yourself. Yeah. Just the pressure behind the muscle that's holding it back, you'd imagine, would just break.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that was we did stop off on the side of the road to piss at one point before we got to hospital, and I filled another 4 litres or whatever it was. Yeah. So you could just block it out, I guess. Yeah. So, yeah, I've been to hospital a few times. One of them was I needed a piss.
That's me this week.
It's you this week. Yeah. I did a bit more social media posting. Because it's just, with me and productivity, or Mark, whatever social media is very much about just getting started, and once I start, I can do it. It's just getting around to looking forward to writing a tweet.
Yeah,
I haven't really got it in me, but I don't like how we used like a social media app. I started using Hootsuite, and I was like, just post these whenever throughout the week, and I think it posted them all within 2 days. I was just experimenting to see if it would spread it out a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's all kind of been posted. And yeah, we had some interactions on it, which I think was all right. It was interesting to do so. There was one about Uncle Ben's rice, who I tried to figure out who it was, because I assumed it was a Facebook post that I thought people only who liked our Facebook page would see it. But I get the feeling, and I'm sorry if I'm wrong about this, but I get the feeling that he was actively looking for Uncle Ben's posts.
Oh, right.
Because he's posted a lot of similar stuff, and it was like, it's just he wants to get the word out there about Uncle Ben's. Yeah, and it was good conversation with him briefly, but it was good.
Yeah.
So yeah, try to be more active on social media. It's just not in my repertoire at all.
No.
Still, I'll keep on saying it, but I still think it's probably what we need to get good at. So. Force it. Try and force social media interaction.
Yeah.
Just feels like yelling something. It's trying to say something that is accepted by many, is what it feels like. Even though we still write posts in our own ways, it just feels like you're at a party, and instead of just screaming for screaming's sake, you're screaming to try and gain attention. And that's the part I don't really get. That's not really how I operate, I guess. Indirectly, screaming in an open room will gain you attention, but not the type of attention that you would get out.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll accept that. It's just trying to do it for approval. Yeah, try to do it for approval. This feels ugh. But how else do you get your message out there other than putting your message out there? I guess. So yeah. But yeah, so I'm at Nick Snip.
I am at Sing It Steve.
Yeah, we're at Pulling Teeth Pod on Twitter and Instagram, and we're at Pulling Teeth Podcast on Facebook.
Yeah, you can email us at wisdom@pullingteethpodcast.com. Send us anything.
Anything.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on Spotify or Apple or wherever the hell you listen to your podcasts.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
We've got a website, which is www.pullingteethpodcast.com, where we have an Amazon banner that we keep on forgetting about, which is in the top right. If you shop with Amazon and you want to support the podcast, just before you go to Amazon, go to our website and click on the banner. Then if you end up buying something, Amazon will send us a kickback, which will help us out. So if you would like to do that, you're more than welcome to. It won't affect your shopping in a negative way at all. It'll just kind of help us out.
Yeah.
Yeah, subscribe on YouTube, we said that. All those good things. And don't wank onto your computer monitors, because they'll explode and cause an apartment blackout.
Yeah.
If they're going to take anything from this, don't do that. And be suspicious of World of Warcraft's walking animations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, another week.
Cool.